everyone, and welcome to another episode of Laws of Community. I'm Hannah Summerall, your, main co-host today. Hopefully this is working. Seems to have frozen on my end. If I could get some confirmation from my people in the back green room here, if I'm still on by some means, maybe text. Nonetheless, my camera says it's on, so I'm going to continue talking. Whether I am talking to myself, unclear at this moment. Okay, sweet, you could hear me at least. And it's back for me. Okay, nonetheless, welcome, and I'm glad you can hear me now. This is another episode of Laws of Community. I already said that part. And this week is the second week of June, so we are on to self-empowerment this week. You guys, I'm super excited about this week, like you have no idea. And yeah, there's a lot of great things coming from us here in the future. Definitely keep your eyes open, your ears open. Speaking of ears and eyes open, this is a live and a podcast show, so webcast and a podcast. So if you're watching us live, then do remember, if you say you can't finish listening to us and you need to go do something, you can always catch back up on the podcast. Any podcast platform, go find us, Laws of Community. And yeah, that was something I mainly wanted to say because I feel like we forget that. But then again, I feel like I'm the only one that remembers it as well. So nonetheless, we have an amazing woman here today, and we actually, I guess I should say, Ron may or may not be on. He is off doing a job right now and trying to come back, but he may or may not be on. And I also have a window open, so if you hear background noise, I'm going to apologize in advance. Hopefully it's just birds, though. Birds are the best. Nonetheless, I am going to go ahead and bring my guest up because she is so amazing. I know that there's going to be plenty to talk to with her about. So yeah, this week is Miss Jo Dee Baer. Hopefully I said that right. I always get worried about saying words correctly, especially when it comes to names, because somehow people have said my name wrong. But nonetheless, I'm actually going to let her introduce herself today because I feel like everyone does that best. So welcome, Jo Dee. Thank you for joining me. And hello, welcome.
Oh my goodness. And so this is where we're doing birds. I always see, in my book that we're going to be talking about, Hannah, I always say the following. I said, it's like adapt and overcome. You have an obstacle with what was going on. Well, guess what? You're going to overcome it. You're in one room, there's demolition going on. If we hear birds, if we hear construction, if we hear garbage trucks, it's all about community. It really is. And just thank you for giving me this platform. Thank you for asking me. First of all, I love it to share my story. I am known as America's top foundational health coach and holistic nutritionist. I've been doing this, Hannah, and audience for over 4 decades. I'm honored to say that my 30,000 clients have achieved over 1 million pounds of toxic fat lost. But in the COVID era, my partner and I devised a remedy. Even though nothing cures, no surgeries, no drugs, no homeopathy, no surgery, no physical therapy. It's just the body put in the right condition can and will heal itself. And we created a remedy during the COVID era that 3,000 people have taken this. They have achieved optimal health. And Hannah, I have a question for you. How many people do you think that we lost using this remedy? What do you think? 0.
I would hope 0. Yeah.
Yes. So that's a little bit about me. What I'm doing now after 4 decades, I empower people that are your age, Hannah. That's why I wrote this book. I'm looking to empower the next generation of healers to take on what I've done to the next level.
Well, and might I say, the cover is so beautiful, and I absolutely since you said that, I would 110% pick that up if I saw it on a shelf. I'm down for that entire color scheme all the way. If you can't tell, I love my purples and everything.
Yes.
And I wish that was all we could have with everything. Like literally, I saw your graphic that you posted for being on the show, and I was like, oh, it's so beautiful. I literally sent it to Kirill. I was like, do something like this.
Oh, that was so sweet. And I loved your graphics, and we share that certainly together. And hello, Penny Summerall. We always like relatives. That means they love us. But just like you're saying, there may be birds. We love birds. See, there are birds flying out of the head, because as they say in the book world, you know, when you have an advanced reader copy, Hannah, it's called an arc. Well, because of the way my mind just goes, my publisher called this Noah's Ark. Because there's so much in it. 2 by 2 by 2. Thank you.
I love that. I love that. Ah, yes. I love this too, that you can get a $4.99 value ebook just for any of our podcast listeners. And you can go to drjodee.com/blog/21-wisdom-tidbits. So yeah, definitely go check out the book. Speaking of, would you mind giving us a brief introduction of the book and maybe, you know, something to intrigue us more to buy it, I guess?
And I also want to say that if you so desire, you can go to my website. This is very important. Talk about laws of community, Hannah. I had something tragic happened 5 weeks before my launch. As you well know, when you're doing something like this with a launch, 90% of a book publication at the end is graphics. Well, Danya Safar, young 32-year-old woman, tragically, our graphic artist, Ignite Publishing's first employee that was hired 6 years ago, she tragically died in a hotel fire. She and her 6 girlfriends, there was no escape. And after the breath just left us. And I'm so grateful to say that one of the things that I wanted to do is make sure, because her designs left in her laptop, even along with her life. So what were we going to do? Well, I went with ChatGPT, I went with AI, I went with people that I knew, and we were able to recreate the same graphics, 99.9%. And why this is so important: when you buy a copy of our book, Now the Universe's book, you can go to drjodee.com, click there, buy our book. When you do so, it will change your life. It has changed so many people. I could go on and on, but I'm not going to. I'm going to give you a short snippet of why this is important for you, but why it's important for Danya, because 50% of all the proceeds of our book go to building the Danya Safar School of Hope. So if Kirill, if you're a production, I didn't give you this, but it's Danya Safar. I'll give it memorial.com. You see, when I picked our publisher, this was like her other daughter, up off the floor, and I know we build these schools of hope all over the world. And I said, where is your next school designed to go? And she said, in Cambodia. I said, do you know anybody in Cambodia? And she said, no. I said, but you know a little girl who was born in Pakistan, saw her vision to come to Canada, be an immigrant, and start her own graphic arts studio. Who knew in this now click and order society, this laptop, here we are, this laptop lifestyle, that a little girl, brown-eyed, brown-haired girl from Montana would have the honor and privilege of spearheading the Danya Safar School of Hope. This brown-eyed, brown-haired girl is going to have a school for graphic arts built right in her small hometown of Pakistan. So I wanted to start with that. Hannah, what are your thoughts on that? And then I'll get into the book.
Speechless, because yeah, I definitely, going back to where you started at, I definitely remember seeing something about that come up on the interwebs, social medias, and all of that. And I think that is just absolutely amazing and breathtaking, pardon me. Because honestly, I am someone, like, I made my background that I have up on the live here, and so I do dabble in my own graphic arts, and I do paintings as well. So, you know, it does it does touch me in a way, because that those graphics and art and things like that, they mean something to me. And I think it's so powerful that
Yes.
we have the tools. And like, I could see the emotion on your face as you were talking about this too, and that's what really like got me. And I'm over here like looking up the book. I'm like, all right, let me get ready to just type in my 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 credit card information. So yeah, you guys go get the book, most definitely. Like, I'm already sold. But nonetheless, I love that we can recreate someone's work.
Yes.
And
We can
so
recreate that. We can
that's
do
amazing.
those things again. Your law of community. It must start with us before it goes to community. It started with JB and I. If I can just say Lady JB and I hope it's all right that I interject this, Hannah, because guess what? The $35,000 that it costs to build a school of hope, we're 2/3 of the way there already with both process. We hit
What?
1.1 million downloads and books sold over
Whoa.
our week, because when you are others community driven, Hannah, guess what? It just transcends
You
to
can
a
do anything.
new level. And for those of you that are very conscious and eco-friendly and climate control conscious, guess what? This school is built out of 100% recyclable materials. There is
Ooh.
a factory in Finland that takes yours and my plastic bottles, crunches them, makes them into bricks, makes them into chalkboards, makes them into school desks and chairs. Is that crazy?
Oh my gosh. That sounds that what? I mean,
Yes.
I know we do some pretty crazy things, but like, I don't know how you find these people. That's my next thing. Like, you need to teach me your ways. Cuz that is
Well,
just unbelievable.
well,
Absolutely love it.
but Hannah, you know what I said? I will teach you. You're these next generation of healers, I promise. But
And it's
but you
all
know what
about
it
being in
is?
the community.
Yes, it's a if I don't know 1,000 people and 1,000 different ways to do things, then guess what? I'm a loser because I
Yeah.
haven't done my work out in the community, out in the world. And who knew what I was going to tell you about the 21 days, which your readers can look forward to. You know, the readers of the book, your viewers, if they go and purchase the book, take a screenshot, go back to my website, send me an email, and you have the ability, we're going to start July 28th on a master's mastermind, your life of excellence. We are going to take 21 days, go through the book. 21 days, it will be life changing. I've done this. You see, this was coursework. Talk about obstacles turn into opportunities. I went ahead and during the .com in the mid 90s, I know you weren't yet born, Hannah, but I'm telling you that what happened there is that I was making multiple six-figure income a year. Okay, multiples, and the first number was not 1, 2, or 3. So we were doing great. I was a single mom. Things were rocking and rolling. Highly paid consultant in the natural health industry. My income went down to, well, let's see. My sons were 15 and 17. Am I going to have enough for their food? You see, 17 was and 15 were their age, but it was also their shoe size. So when you have an obstacle and you know you have a vision that you want for community, start with you. I have a saying, Hannah, that says when you take care of you and your world first, the world around you is empowered forever.
Mm.
And what I did, Hannah, just pull you up on screen. We're gonna have a talk. I want to see us both together. It makes me happy. And so then I can pour into you and see whether I'm on the right track. But what happened being a classically trained vocal musician, I'm going, look at everything I've ever done for all of these companies. Why don't I do it for me so I can give it to the world? That's you and your world first. Then what I did, I said, Handel wrote his Messiah in 21 days. It's a classical masterpiece. Why don't I write my masterpiece in 21 days? You see, you have a new energy cycle every 21 days, not just women. We think of with our menstrual cycle, everyone has an energy cycle in 21 days. Then I broke it down to 7 days of you, because you're the only person that will never leave you. It's about you and you in the world. And then the next 7 days, 8 through 14, is about you and relationships. But relationships are spelled real relationships. How are we real in community? Results oriented, enthusiasm, attitude of love. That's a relationship. And then we go to the third 7 days, and that's empowering you and the world. So what happened? I wrote this down. Now that was in, I know you don't remember this either, and I'm dating myself, but I'll tell anybody. I'm 69. Okay. And so this is when my sons had a desktop. It was about as big as my desk. We had dial up and we go, and they fought over AOL.com. And so I hand wrote this out. See, there are no coincidences that then I took this and made this into an 8-figure company within 8 months. Annual revenue income, took this to Fortune 100, 500, the 21 days. Now it had a different name with this, and I'll tell you why in just a moment. But then that 21 days, what we did is that we took it to Fortune 100, 500, 50 companies, the Department of Defense, to 200 NCAA 1A schools, because my sons then were in college and they were world ranked and nationally ranked All-American swimmers. So it was just natural that I would follow their expertise and go pivot off of them. Of course, that's what moms do. So what we did then, I'm getting my doctorate. I've never been one to do one thing at a time, but I never wrote my PhD until, guess what? COVID hit. 2020. I got my last royalty check when I sold my company in 2010. Why did I sell it? Because guess what, Hannah? I met this guy named Bob Baer. And he found me on the beach and he proposed with terms and conditions a year later. He said, I love you, but I don't love an airport. And so I quickly sold my company, got royalties for 10 years. Now we're 2020. Guess what happened? I am cleaning out closets. I'm not going to sit and watch Netflix. I find this coursework. It's now public domain. And that's what I wrote my dissertation. And now it's come full circle because I took my 800-page dissertation, thanks to Bob Baer. And I said, honey, can I turn my dissertation into a book? He said, and you'll market the hell out of it because you love health and you love people. So that's why we're here. I know that was kind of a long story. I hope it's not too long for you, but that's how this book came about. 5 countries, we went international bestseller. In US, Canada, UK, Australia, never been there, never been to Brazil. Here we are all over the world because people need this. You see, when I first became a health coach, I went into this like health food store and it was this card table of dusty vitamins. And it was this old gray-haired lady who was like, she was just happy somebody came in. Now I was the only woman at first, and then there were 3 of us being a corporate health coach. I'm much on the cutting edge. Guess what now, Hannah? I'm the little old lady. I just cover my gray. And now it's now controversial. What is holistic health now become mainstream? I'm so happy to be here. So that's what I got to say. Do you have any questions? I hope I covered everything.
Oh my gosh, you are just absolutely amazing. So I was so excited to have you on because honestly, like, so not to say anything about myself, but my best friend is only like maybe 10 years younger than you. So I definitely, like, I'm totally fine with anyone being any age because I usually end up vibing with people like you. They're older, they're spunky, they're like, you are allowed to hide your gray as long as you work the color you put in, and you work it. So
okay.
Don't even be scared about that.
Okay.
But I mean, no, that is just awesome. And that so I'm actually in a similar situation. I have not finished my master's. I took this past year off and I need to finish literally like just the end of it, but COVID hit and my brain was like, I don't want to do any of this work. I need to focus on surviving because there's a huge thing happening. So I definitely, like, that's what, everything happens for a reason. That's my true beliefs, honestly. But no, I am super excited. I did have a question that just came though. So we purchased the book off of your website and send you a screenshot, and then we get into this masterclass, correct?
That's correct. You can go ahead under contact. You'll get my email address, but I'll put it here in the private chat. I prefer to use Dr. Jo Dee Baer, my name, because then with all the plethora of screenshots, I can make sure that I get it to you. But if you use, once on my website, it's fine. I'll find you. Then on the 28th of July, we're going to start this masterclass. It's going to be 21 days straight. We're going to go through Believe It's For Real, Developing Record Fever, Your Spark of Imagination, Seeds to Greatness, you name it. Good luck or opportunity, you make it. Burning desire, you name it. How your natural computer really works according to Chinese medicine. Ancient Chinese
love
medicine.
that.
Yes.
I love that natural computer. I've never heard anyone call it that.
Don't you have four different departments in your brain? The frontal lobe, the think about it. Your frontal lobe.
Even more maybe.
What was that?
Even more maybe. I feel like there's a whole bunch up there.
Yes. And so you can get all the hype, and the class is $497, but guess what? Your tribe gets in for $97. I just forgot the 4 because I want this message to be out in community. I want people to know you will make a difference. There's a way, a proven path. And I saw this over and over and over again. When I did the work with the Department of Defense, Hannah, I'll tell you something. These were does this fit our COVID era right now? These were men and women that were officers. There was a rift going on in the military, so they were getting let go. This is what they had known, their security. What do we do now? I've lost my way. What are you going to do? This is social science. This is the whole thing of social science. And I would see them by the time we got to day 9, they're going, I get it. And they'd lean in and they just wanted more and more and more. And so there's always going to be something there because I built this, Hannah, around the 6 pillars of human existence. My dissertation was called The Ancient Kabbalah and the 6 pillars of human existence in preventative medicine today. Now, that's kind of a long title for a book, don't you think?
Oh yeah, for a book, yes. But for not for a dissertation though.
No, but it didn't work. So that's why we came up with the 21 days to your best you keys for the life of excellence. And so what I know that it starts with spiritual, and then it goes into physical, mental, emotional, social, and financial, which is the bedrock. And that's where you can go ahead and check out those spiritual pillars. You can go ahead and see in the 21 days of tidbit wisdom. I just broke it down. And I don't know, I have 2 more things that I wanted to share, if that's all right, unless I'm just hogging the time. Are we okay?
No, you are perfectly fine. I was gonna recap that the tidbits that she's talking about.
Yes,
when you go on to buy the book, it's a little pop-up extra where you can put your email in and get a download. But yes, I will let you talk because they got home and the dogs are barking anyways. Please go ahead with the other 2 things that you had.
Okay, so this is what I end our book here. It said, it was the book, then it became my book, then it became our book. And as I even see in my mind's eye, I see Danya looking down on us and say, keep it going. Keep it going. That's what community is. And I wrote this poem a couple of decades ago for one of my first mentors. And this is what we ended, because this is the true you and community. It's always about the spiritual pillar now, isn't it? And it goes like this. Our creator said, build a better world. And I simply said, can you show me how? This world is such a cold, dark place, so complicated now. I am just once so passionate, yet helpless, for there is so much here to do, that I felt his spirit, his loving touch and voice as he spoke to me and said, so build a better world, dear one, give others healing, hope. Start with this one and go to 2. And then you have begun your life's work to build a better you. Ladies and gentlemen, isn't that what Hannah and Ray are doing here? on the laws of community? Aren't we starting with one and going to two so we can build a better you and I, and then a better world? So I just leave you with this. And Hannah, I want to see your glowing face. And then I just want to, again, thank you for this opportunity. I hope you like the poem. I hope you
Yes,
did.
yes, that was amazing. And actually, Ron came and joined me. You're gonna have to come over here.
Yeah,
Oh, Ron, wait. I mean, I'm bad. Just call me Judy, Ron. Hey, hey, hey.
it's fine. Hi. Hi everybody. Yeah, I got a little bit of the end of your poem too, and I loved it. What I heard. So
that was awesome. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, and you can adopt that too, Hannah and Ron, because give others healing and hope through community.
Yes,
really, that's where it is. And so what is a life of excellence? What is a life of excellence? You can check it on my website. You can check it on my YouTube site, which is just YouTube at Dr. Jo Dee. I didn't come up with anything really special, but it's there. Because we had the laws, we had the life of excellence. We had people like Rex Seitz, Dame Doria Cordova, Lady J.B. Owen was there, Dr. Khalila Kamancho Ali. We had 20 guests that just poured into us. Those were their lives. And I'm thinking, these people are so excellent. And then I got to download. You know how that happens, guys, right? Yeah. It's such a dynamic duo. And I said, so what does excellence stand for? It is enthusiasm, extra, being consistent. It is absolute energy, living love with excitement in the now, with your creator every day, every way.
Wow.
That's awesome.
I love that. You have such good acronyms. I absolutely love it. Well, did you have any last minute questions? We kind of went over a lot, and I guess you were busy driving.
Not really, just because I wasn't able to really hop on to listen to what y'all were talking about. I guess the only thing I really have as a question is what is your law of community?
Yeah, that's his question. He likes.
My law of community is just exactly what I said in my quote that I put in my book. When you take care of you and your world first, the world around you is empowered forever. And I'll give you another one since you already heard that. But your everybody wants a big life. Everybody wants to make a difference. But your macro living begins in your micro daily life. What are you doing today? What are you doing every day? Are you doing your 10 rituals? Because I may have the 10 rituals to rock your day that only adds 45 minutes, because you see energy creates vitality, with transcends to longevity. I'm living proof at 69. Do what I do to have what I have now, so you can get what I've got when you're my age.
Heck
well said.
Definitely well said. And I think the other was well to hear over again, in case anyone glazed their ears and they didn't hear it as well. But I guess we'll let you go now, because I know you do have another event. But thank you so much for joining me today. You have been an absolute joy to have. And definitely, next book you have, you're coming back, right?
Of course. We will keep track, and I will have you on our Mindset Monday or our Life's Milkshake Moments, as my show is called. Life is like a milkshake. Choose your ingredients wisely. And when you do, your life will be oh so sweet. Let's make the laws of community sweet. Let's make our lives sweet, and let's do it together. One life, one law of community together, shall we? Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a great evening. We'll talk to you soon.
Love, peace, joy.
Yep. Thank you. And I'm glad I was able to make it at the very end.
Anything else?
Well, I may have gotten here late, guys, and I wasn't actually, like I said, I wasn't able to really hop in and hear much of what was said. I was in the middle of driving and doing a little bit of work for us today. So, all I got to say is what I've heard so far here at the end, it's what she touched on is absolutely the truth. Just like today is all about self-empowerment and empowering others. In order to empower others, in order to empower your community, you really have to empower yourself. You have to take what is nutritional value in your life, whether it's actual nutrition, but nutritional value in your life that is actually going to propel yourself in order to propel others. Because if you can't get that pep in your step, how do you think you can help somebody else get a pep in their step? So if you really want to see a difference in your community, see a difference in your life, see a difference in the lives around you, start working on yourself. Start diving into books like what Dr. Jo Dee has. Actually dive deep into what it is that you're searching for, and really take in that information that these people have done so much time in their life just focusing on. Because if you focus on something for years, say you're a profession in any sort, you know best in that field. So really, if you feel like you're having trouble, reach out to us, reach out to Dr. Jo Dee. If you don't know how exactly, even after watching this, we'll help you. But ultimately, try to reach out and figure out what you can do to empower yourself in your life. That's all I really got to say. I know I'm still kind of long-winded, but I'd love to make sure you guys get on with the rest of your days like planned. So thank you guys for joining us today, for all who watched. And
no, that's not what we say. Get
what?
back to your regularly scheduled programs.
Get to your regularly scheduled programs, but
it starts with you.
Yeah.
That's what. So yeah, Self-Empowerment Week. Thanks for joining us.
Yep.
Thanks for joining us finally.
Absolutely.
All right, you guys. We will see you next week. And thank you.
Yep.
Love you. Bye.
Love you all. See you next week on Almost Home Free. Bye.
Yes, it is.